Okay, now it's time for a question from our audience. Thank you so much for leaving us your recordings in the Chani app. You can do that. Please leave us your questions via a recording in the app.
Hi, Chani. I have a question about elements in regards to your planets in your chart. So, for instance, my chart is primarily all air and fire. I only have two earth signs, my Virgo rising and Neptune in Capricorn. And I have one water sign, Pluto and Scorpio. Everything else is air and fire. And so I'm very curious about the elements and planets and like how that could also be represented in a person in within astrology. Any advice about the elements would be great. Thanks.
Great question. It's really important when you just have one of something. Like you said you had Neptune in Capricorn, which is like, okay, you do. That is a planet in an earth sign, but it's a transpersonal planet. It's not a personal planet. But if you have a Virgo rising, that becomes everything. That becomes the personal point at which you express the element of earth, being practical, being grounded, being, work-oriented, being pragmatic, all of that, being able to like put things in their place and make things work. I don't know if you have like a node in a water sign perhaps, but I think you mentioned Pluto and Scorpio. Yes, again, it is a planet, it's a transpersonal planet. So it counts, but it's really more generational than personal. So that means that there is an emphasis on ideas, air, on communication, air, and on creativity, fire, and excitement, fire. And air and fire love each other, right? I was just talking about that in this episode. Air and fire love each other because they wind each other up, and it's very exciting. It's very effervescent. It's bubbly. It's steamy. It's like, it's got like big fire energy because the wind comes through and, makes the fire just go wild. And so it's ungrounded, and it is not necessarily good at maintaining like connections and bonds. I'm not saying you're not good at being in relationships, but what I'm saying is that we need wetness. We need like a something that helps us to create a stickiness, a wetness to help things be cohesive and like connect, right? If you just think elementally. If everything's fire and air, it's great. It's exciting. It's beautiful. It's alluring. It's, again, creative. It's inspired. It's action-oriented. It's like go, 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 go. And we love that in our very extroverted, youth-obsessed kind of culture, so that, it does really well in this paradigm that we live in. And the earth, it grounds us. It slows us down. It reminds us how to appreciate what is here and just like being in the body. And water helps us to connect. It helps us to share things with one another, share our feelings, share ourselves. It helps us to emote. It helps us to build bonds. And so when you don't have any of an element, like I actually don't have any personal planet in air. And all I do is communicate. So it's not like I'm bad at communicating, but I'm not great at being fully logical. I'm not great at having perspective sometimes. I got a lot of the other elements, and a lot of that fire, water stuff can be really feeling. I can get really swept away with my feelings. And I got a lot of earth, and so I can get, really like heavy. And so I don't have a lot of the air that helps me gain perspective. I have a very strong Mercury though. And my very strong Mercury helps me do this work. So I also, like, the elements are one thing, and then we also have to understand the conditions of the planets. Because if you have a really strong moon, of course the moon is strongest in an earth or a water sign, but if you have a really well-placed moon, people are going to feel really reflected by you. And if you have a really well-placed Venus, like if you have Venus in Libra or something, that's going to, go out and make a bajillion friends, way more than me. Like that's going to be very socially connected. So it all depends on, the elements are one thing. There's a lack of water. So things can get dry and hot, and there's a lack of earth. So things can get can get a little too heated. Like there's moisture with air, and there's heat with fire, obviously. So you just want to think about where you might be lacking. And it's not like you don't feel, and it's not like you can't manifest things or you can't be grounded, but you might immediately go to inspiration, and you might immediately go to your ideas, and you might immediately go up into your head and into your creative energy and get really excited and forget maybe about the body, or forget maybe about how to be in a more kind of grounded, slower stance. And again, it depends on where all the other stuff is in your chart and what else is really prominent. I have to really look at where the planets are, like what houses they're in and how they're placed and how they're talking to each other. Because even having a Virgo rising, it's Earth, so it's really good. It helps you a lot. It helps you be really practical and hardworking. But it is a planet, it is a sign that's ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is about communication. So even there, it's like it is mentally focused in a way. It wants to be practical with its application of what it knows, but it's still pretty chatty and intellectual. All right, y'all, I hope that was helpful. Please keep sending in your questions.